Navin, I'm interested to know how you do pair selection because yesterday I was watching New Zealand US dollar and you were watching New Zealand Swiss for the sell side. And I just would like to know what made you to choose New Zealand Swiss instead of New Zealand US dollar.
This is the New Zealand Swiss, but I'm going to just open up correlation here. I'm just going to go to, for example, Aussie today, because I know Aussie is moving right now. So what happens is you can see the Aussies all across the board, right? Okay, so we have the Aussie dollar, we have Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss. Okay, you get the idea. You get all the Aussies there. Okay, the ones in gray are inversed. They're backwards. It's Euro and Aussie and pound and Aussie, just to emphasize that, right? Okay, now the way many people look at correlation is they use stuff like, you see this is making a higher high, 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 this is making a lower low, this is inverse now, and this is making a lower low. So now look at the ones that are struggling to make a higher high or struggling to make a lower low. This one barely makes a lower low, and then it has a higher low. This one barely makes a higher high, and then it has nothing. It just keeps dropping. So many people, what they do is they look at these weird things, and through technical analysis, they just pick and say, oh, this one looks better because look at the angle, look at the sharpness. This high is not here, it's here. So this must be better. That's incorrect. Okay, so the reason why you do that, because that's just a nice mumbo jumbo way of looking at things, but that doesn't work. Remember, what is our job in the market? What do?
We help the big boy.
We help the big boy, right? So our job is to fulfill the demand, right? So let me show you this thing here that's gonna help you understand a little bit here. I'm going to open up the whiteboard. If you see a movement like this, it's aggressive. As a trader, what do you feel?
I want to buy also. We need a pullback to buy.
Okay, so you want to help that guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, if someone is looking at this for a sell and it does this, and then there's another chart that does this, what's going to happen is someone's going to look at this and saying, ooh, this is a better one to sell instead of this one. You see the difference in there? This is everyone's on standby to say, come here, so I'm going to smack it really hard. Right? Get me that discount, so I'm going to smack it really hard. While everyone here is like, I'm done. Collapse this thing. Collapse it. I'm done with it. But what's happening is people look at this as, you see this angle? It's a lower high, but this is slightly higher high. So therefore, this is a bad one and this is a good one. You have to avoid that. This is something that's very popular on the internet. You stay away from that. Don't do that. Okay, you do the opposite. But not the opposite in terms of, okay, let me give you a different scenario. I'll tell you a scenario where it is better, just so it's clear, okay? There was this thing, and then this we drew, right? But yes. If there is this thing, then this is the better one. Why? Why is this better than this one? Now, this one is, you see the lower high angle is like that, this lower high angle is like that. So obviously this is stronger, but it's also correct logic-wise. So in this case, all the internet people are also right, but the logic is here in this one. Did you understand why?
I think I do. I would say this is because on the first example, we have a very strong buyers, and they are probably just waiting for a better price to buy. In a second example, we have buyers that are coming like struggling a lot.
Yes.
So they're not as strong as in the first case.
Good. This one, there's a higher chance it's going to go deeper. Versus this one, if you do any sell, even if it starts going your way, there's a high chance it will snap, like very quickly snap. It won't even go nice and easy up. It'll snap. And that snap makes people panic. What happens when you have a winning trade and you're in a sell here and you're making this much money? If it snaps back, 90% of retail traders, they're unable to close that position because internally they feel, okay, go back to where it was and I'll close it. At least go back to half, I'll close it. At least this, at least that stop loss.
I know the feeling, yeah.
Right, me too. That's the reason why I can explain it, is because been there, done that, right? So what are the things, just to recap to me back, what are the things you're not gonna do?
So if I see buyers coming very strong, like in the first case,
yeah,
I'm not gonna sell, even though the sellers might come strong.
Good.
I'm gonna wait first for the buyers to show me, like, okay, they are here, they are back, and I'm gonna try to buy with them, but not to sell, because that would be very risky.
That'll be very risky. So but if you do want to sell, even if this angle and the design looks good for a sell, do the other one, because the other one has the logic of saying no one is going to mess with you. Does that make sense? You add that pair selection with correlation agreeing with you, you're golden. You're golden.